we have officially moved into our RV full-time. We came actually over here 2 days ago, and we're at a KOA till Happy Acres opens. Got all set up, turned the water on, and well, let me show you what's happening. So the minute I turn the water pump on, this starts to happen. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but we are gushing water out of our water heater line. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this back off. So it's coming out of a plastic fitting down here, which means we have to replace the water heater, Myron said. So something, either I didn't winterize it properly, I've never winterized one of these tankless water heaters before, or the extreme cold we had this winter must have just cracked this plastic fitting. So Myron is on his way to Alliance to pick up a new water heater. Now, I could have got one on Amazon for right around $300, but today is Monday, and it said it wouldn't arrive until Wednesday, which we could survive another couple nights. But anything coming out of Indianapolis Postal Service wise is taking forever because they got a new mail hub down there, and there's just all kinds of issues, and I don't know where that part would be coming through, and I didn't want to run the risk of not getting it for a week. So Myron said it's going to cost us a little bit more, around $500, but he can get one ASAP over at Alliance, and I said go ahead and do it because unfortunately the bathhouses here are under renovation. So we've been running back to our house because we technically have until Friday to give the new owners the house. So we've just been running back and forth at night, taking showers and baths. But we honestly, really, we're pretty much done over there at the house, and we just want to move on with our lives. So hopefully Myron will be here a little bit later, and we'll document him pulling that out and putting the new one in. And we're also going to talk to him to find out what maybe I did wrong, if I did anything wrong, that caused this to happen. All right, Myron has arrived to the rescue, and you can see I just grabbed the camera. He's already started removing the cover. So Myron, with these tankless water heaters, when you winterize, it's really just running your pink fluid through the system. There's no valves per se for the most part with these things.
For the Suburban here, no, you just run your pink fluid through there and make sure you got pink fluid coming out of your hot water faucets, and you should be good usually. Okay,
so, but you did tell me one thing I could have maybe done differently is if I would have opened up the pressure relief valve here, maybe there might have been just a touch of water still in there that could have caused this.
Just maybe. It's
yeah so I didn't necessarily screw up. And for those of you wondering, like, how expensive is this issue, you can actually get this particular unit on Amazon for $277 plus tax. Now, we ended up, because we don't want to wait for the shipment, we ended up paying maybe not quite double that, but significantly more. But he was able to get one same day for the unit. So at least it gives you an idea on part cost. So you're probably around closer to $500. But if you're able to get it off of Amazon, save some money that way. All right, so Myron had to access it. What's interesting is this is our pantry. And even though you can see they've cut out an access point, they didn't really have it. He had to remove trim pieces and things to get to it. So also, it was a mess down here. Tons and tons of little pieces of wood they cut out and wood shaving. So I've tried to clean it up as best I could, but you can see the daylight coming through. Myron actually has the old water heater out, and let's go outside and see what he's doing. All right, Myron's ready to install now. He's just sliding the water heater back in, and then it's just a process of, so you had to disconnect water lines. Was it one water line or two? Two. Oh yeah, because one coming in, one going out. You disconnected some electrical, obviously, because of the igniter, and then the propane line. So, and they've cut the hole pretty tight, which is okay, I guess. Just makes going in a little harder. So it's actually a few days later, and when I say few days, I mean a week later, because like a lot of projects, I forget to pull the camera out. So Myron was having issues when we last left off trying to get the water heater back in, and he finally realized he thinks what they had done when they built the RV was they had actually dropped it in from inside and then cut the hole and just slid it out. And so as opposed to, well, let's just go over there and I'll show you. So as opposed to trying to cut this wall out wider, what he ended up doing was the access panel in there, he just cut it bigger, dropped this down in, and then pulled it out, and he thinks that's what they did. The other thing is we didn't end up replacing the entire water heater. We just ended up replacing this plastic part back here, which I don't know is going to show up very good on camera. He took it off of the new water heater, and then he is going to try to get that part from Suburban, and he's just going to keep the water heater in inventory. I did tell him if he can't get it, I would pay for the water heater, but he said no, that there's enough parts on these water heaters that he'll be able to part it out. And so he ended up getting it back in. It works fine, no issues there. So my total bill ended up being $256, although I ended up writing him a check for $300 because, quite frankly, when you can get emergency repairs like that, it is worth every penny. And I want to take care of Myron. I want to be fair to him. In fact, I tried to pay for the entire water heater from him, and he kind of refused, and he said, if you do that, then I'm going to put a brand new water heater in. So he says he'll be fine. I'm going to check on him just to make sure. But that's what ended up happening, because he said he could cut that wall a little bit bigger to slide it in, but he just decided to go ahead inside and just cut out that access panel big enough that he could drop it right down in and pull it out like they had done. The issue was the screws stick out a little too far to get it slid back in there. So we have hot water. We've had hot water for about a week now. No real issues since then. And again, no real understanding of why it happened, but just understand sometimes things do happen even when you winterize properly. If you end up having issues after winterizing and you go to de-winterize and there's problems, don't beat yourself up. It may have been something you did. It may not have been something you did, especially if you live in these northern climates to where it gets super cold. And when we had temperatures below zero with wind chills up to -20, sometimes things just crack. So a huge shout out to Landstar RV, Myron. If you need service, if you can get here to Northeast Indiana, Myron can help you out, whether it's warranty work, just general repairs, or even modifications to your RV, like adding on a solar system or an inverter. He does it all. And if you need a place to stay when you come up for service, you can always come over to Happy Acres Campground where you can stay. Myron will come out, and if he can do the work in the campground, he does that for a lot of people. And so we'd be happy to host you and help you get the service you need. Till next time, everybody, we'll see you on down the road. Bye.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.